Now, in today's video, I'm going to talk about something that's kind of been lingering on the mind the past couple weeks. Not going to lie, this is going to be my first video, but I kind of got sidetracked with work and other stuff, not going to lie. But finally making it. So, today we're going to be talking about why we keep playing the same 3 games over and over and over again. I'm talking about the 2K, I'm talking about Minecraft, and I'm talking about hopping on like Fortnite, and now it's kind of a funny topic to me, in my opinion. It sounds dumb when you say it out loud. I mean, you look at your library, whether you're on like Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, whatever you're on, you got dozens, maybe hundreds of games sitting there, and you just decide to just boot up the same game you've been playing for the last, I don't know, 2 years. Maybe it's COD. I mean, it's kind of a harsh reality with everything that comes with, I don't know, just playing those games. So for a ton of you, if you don't know, I have like bought over probably 50 games that are on sale, and I just haven't played them yet. I just keep playing the same games over and over and over again, and that's mainly just hopping on, whether that be like Borderlands or Arkham Asylum, or maybe that even be hopping on some older things past that, like some New Vegas. But I'm just telling you to let you know, I'm not someone that doesn't like new stuff either. I got my first console when I was a kid. I played through so many types of games, everything from the PlayStation 2 classics. I was playing Battlefront 2, not 2018, I'm talking about the old one. Over the past few months though, the most important thing that I've kind of come to realize is that there will be some people that will treat you differently just because you're playing the same old shit. And I'm not gonna lie, some of the reactions I was getting from some friends is pretty funny, just to say the least. I had a friend ask me if I got this new $70 game. No, I did not. You just kind of feel the tone shift, like a little bit of judgment, maybe some backhandedness from it. It reminded me of a conversation I had with an old coworker back when I used to work at Papa John's, and I asked him, "Hey, you're not the youngest guy. You still play games a whole bunch. Nothing wrong with that. But, do you ever get made fun of it for it? Do you ever get judged for it?" And he said to me, he doesn't even mention usually that he games when he doesn't feel like the person he's talking to doesn't game. And he said that it's almost like if you're an adult and you're not constantly chasing the newest, most productive thing, you're somehow just doing hobbies wrong. And that's when it started to baffle me, because anytime someone gives you side eye for sticking to the same 3 comfort games, those are the exact same people that sit on their phone, doom scrolling TikTok and Reels for 7-8 hours a day doing literally nothing. How is this sitting on your phone, passively consuming brain rot, seen as totally normal, but putting an hour into a game you've loved for years, treated as lazy and unproductive habit? If you think back to COVID, when the world was completely disconnected, so many of us stayed sane by getting on Discord calls with friends and running Minecraft, Valorant, Rocket League, and GTA for hours. It was honestly the only way we were able to connect through the complete dystopia that was COVID for a while. Yet fast forward to now, and people are acting like gaming or replaying those games, sometimes your favorite games, is the greater issue, when gaming was never the issue. It's how people project their own weird standards onto your leisure time. And let's be real for a second, depending on where you live right now, going out is ridiculously expensive. If you want to go out on Friday night for drinks, food, or an activity, by the end of the night, you're probably going to be down by $100 or $200 just for a few hours, while a lot of people simply cannot afford to throw that money away every weekend. Meanwhile, playing those games that you've owned for the past couple years, the same 3 games your friends get on you for, doesn't cost anything. It's free. Just as an example, what if you work a lot of hours and you don't have the time? You only get about 30 minutes a day, so you spend 30 minutes hopping on to your favorite game. that 30 minutes is probably going to mean a lot to you. And I think that's the core reason why we keep going back to those same 3 games, like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft. Modern life is exhausting. You go to work, school, deal with a real world stress, and by 7 p.m. your brain is fried. A brand new game demands a whole bunch of mental energy. It demands 40 tutorial pop-ups, a 2-hour prologue, learning new mechanics, dying repeatedly while you figure it out. But, those games you've already played, you already know 'em. You know the maps, you know the controls, and you know the rhythm. It's a guaranteed hit of familiarity where you don't have to prove anything to anybody. So if you're someone who feels guilty because you have over 300 games in your library, but you only touch the same 3, hey, just accept it. You don't owe the gaming industry your attention just because they dropped a new $70 title. If you know your situation, you know where your life is heading, and running the same 3 games brings you genuine peace at the end of the long day, hey, that's good enough. Hobbies are supposed to de-stress you, not give you homework. They're supposed to be something that you can enjoy and relax. You're supposed to love them. Because, and this is another thing that I had to learn the hard way, a lot of that guilt doesn't even come from other people. It comes from yourself. We look at our Steam backlogs of our bookshelves and games. We calculate in our heads like, damn, I spent over $100 on sales for games I haven't even installed. So every time you boot up one of those 3 main games, there's this quiet little voice in the back saying, you should be playing that RPG you bought 6 months ago. But that's just the sunk cost fallacy messing with your head. Money spent in the past is already gone. You bought those games thinking past you would play them, but present you is tired and just wants to relax. Forcing yourself to play a new game out of financial guilt completely destroys the entire point of gaming in the first place. Treat your backlog like a library, not a to-do list. You don't need to read every single book in the library just because you stepped inside, right? And the thing is, we have to admit to ourselves why those games hold a chokehold on us in the first place. A lot of the time, it's not even just because of the mechanics, it's usually just because of nostalgia. Those games were attached to specific periods of our lives when things felt simpler, or when a squad was still online, or when we still felt that rush of mastering something. So, when we log in with them today, we aren't just playing a game, we're chasing that initial feeling. But the trick is recognizing when a game is still giving you the genuine joy versus when you're just logging in out of pure muscle memory and habit. It's okay to let comfort games be comfort games, but don't let them turn into a routine you run on autopilot just because you're scared to try something new when you actually do have the energy itself. Hey, at the end of the day, look, if you're out here grinding through 50 new single player titles a year, awesome, more power to you. But if you're stuck in the same 3-game loop, just trust your vibe. Like people love to say, if you're unemployed, go get a job. If you're homeless, just buy a house. And if your game library is gathering dust, just queue up the same exact game you've been playing for the last 5 years. Because that's the logic we live by now. But in all seriousness, give yourself some breathing room. But, Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful day. If you guys liked it, leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.